So this is day 3 of the Hummingbird Stitch Along, and I'm not really due to go live for the next until 5 minutes time, but I'm just going to finish off some of the stitching from the last live whilst Instagram lets you all know, or as many of you know as you can. I'm here. It is a Friday night, so people might be out having time with family, a glass of wine, watching a film, so do not worry, you can always catch up. I'm just going to turn that music down a little bit. There we go. So I'm just finishing off a reverse chain stitch here. We started this on Wednesday. As you can see, I'm nearly done here. Now the rainbow does carry on down to here, but I'm going to wait till I finish my flowers and add them on afterwards. Here I haven't done them, but I'm going to move them up and do those 2 little lines here and carry them on through. Hi there, Emmy J. I'm just finishing off the last stitch along stitches. Gone live a bit earlier, just so that I can get ready for today's stitches. Let's move this one around a little bit. It's a little bit twisted. I'm just going to knot off at the back. This is a good way to knot off, because you just find that you made your knot on the stick, put your needle through and hold it where you want your knot to land, and it will always land on that spot. That lovely orange that I had here. How many have we got? 4. Yes, we mixed our colours, didn't we? So let's go with my full length again. We're just finishing off some chain stitch from Wednesday before we move on with the new variations of chain stitch in the next 2 lines. Hi there, Teresa. It's a quiet one today. It's Friday evening here, so I think a lot of people are having dinner. I'm just finishing off some of the chain stitch from Wednesday before I move on to this one here. Have you had a good day today, Teresa? Well, it's not over for you, is it? It's about 2 o'clock there, I think. Let's move those out of the way and getting those trapped. Just bring this one down a little bit. 12 o'clock there for you. So for Tori, I think it was 2 o'clock, wasn't it? It's amazing how it's such, like, the time is different. Like, from state to state. It's 12 o'clock, so it's lunchtime for you. Have you had something nice for lunch? My husband's just gone to pick up a takeaway, so we're having a Chinese tonight. Friday is usually a takeaway night, because by the time it gets to Friday, who can be bothered with cooking? Because I know I can't. So I think I'm going to do one more and stop, because we have got a flower going into there. And because it's a woven wheel one, I don't want to pull on the threads. I can always add some. Oops, I've gone through my fabric. Oh no. But it has pulled. Yeah, Teresa, what have you had for your lunch today? I love asking people what they had to eat. I'm such a foodie. So I started off the morning with a hospital appointment, just to have some monitors put on, a little bit of a wellness check. We've had one of my children on a school trip, another one of my children doing like travelling performances at primary schools. I've not had anything yet. Oh no. And my other child has finished school, so all three of them doing different things, which has been a bit different really. Here we go. Hello Abigail. So I'm going to go with purple on this one here, and this one is going to be a cable chain stitch. I'm not sure if anybody has done a cable chain stitch. Give me a little indication if you have, and I will do this along with you. Hello, it's a quiet one tonight, Abigail. I think everyone's having takeaway teas and possibly out maybe in beer gardens or family time. I'm just going to separate my threads on this one because I don't want it to be all twisty. Nope, not me. Me neither. Although I might have a sneaky gin and tonic later. Tonight, my task after this live is to finally take down my stall stands from Make and Mend, because they're still up in the back room. So I went to IKEA the other day and treated myself to a little electric screwdriver, because last time I got blisters like here, 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 and it absolutely killed just from putting some shelving together. Oh my god, it really hurt. So Abigail has said she's been at the air show today. Oh right, where was that? And is that with RAF planes? You know, when they fly over and they have the colours coming out? Is that the type of thing that you did today? I used to love an air show. I remember once when I was younger going to, it was like a hot air balloon show. It was like the most mesmerising thing I've ever been to as a kid. It was absolutely amazing. In Fairford. I bet you had nice weather for it. It's been quite nice here today. It's very warm. Right, I'm going to use all 6 strands for this one here. And I'm not going to start here. I'm going to start here just so I've got a long run. And then I'll go and fill in the back of it there. Red arrows. Oh, wow. And did they have just red, or did they have the yellow, the blue and the white as well? I just think it's just amazing how they do it, isn't it? It's such precision. There's my husband back with the Chinese, so we'll have the sound of baby elephant hooves running downstairs now for the food. International air tattoo. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Red, white and blue smoke. Oh my gosh. If you've got any videos, you'll have to share them. I absolutely love things like that. So we're going to do a cable chain stitch. Okay. So I'm going to start up here at the top. Oh no, that's the green one. I'm going to start here at the top of my run. I'm going to do my first chain. just like you would do in a normal chain stitch, like this. And then, oh, Abigail said, polish F16, finish F18, noise of jets, incredible. Oh my gosh, I do not know what that means at all, but it sounds really complicated. Is that the type of engines they've got? I bet it was so loud. So now, before you go into your next chain, I'm going to make sure that you can see there. You are going to put your needle facing downwards. You're going to wrap your thread over and round like this, and then you're going to come back down into your work. So you've got a gap of about that much. Okay? I'm going to use my finger to push up. That's the length I want my chain stitch to be. And then I'm going to wrap my thread under the tip of the needle. I'll show you again on the next one. I'm going to pull my needle through, and there is the next chain. I'm going to keep that one a little bit more open so you can see. Okay, so there's that one. The next one, we are going to put the needle down again, over and under, and pop your needle in. Same distance again. So you want this little chain to be the same size as this one here. It's really cool, isn't it? I'm going to use my finger underneath. Can you see it there in the shadow? And my needle is just helping my finger is just helping my needle pop back up on the line. I'm going to wrap the length of thread, let's turn you this way a bit, under the tip of my needle and push through. And as you pull through, you get a lovely chain. So again, it's the same process again, needle pointing down, wrap your thread over and under, and then put your needle down the same length again as before. You want all of these to be the same length. From this point, you're going to use your finger underneath your fabric, push it up onto the line, same distance again, wrap your thread, hi Heidi, wrap your thread underneath, push through, and this is called cable chain stitch. Cable chain stitch. So it looks like, you know, the little paper Christmas decorations that you have when you loop them together and they loop like that. It looks a little bit like that. Okay, so I'm going to go again, needle pointing down, over and under, and then I'm going to put my needle in, a little further in actually, I want that line to be the same, and then I'm going to push my needle up so it loops underneath, swing the length of the thread underneath, push your needle through, and there we have a lovely cable chain. Again, let me move my camera down, wrap over and under, needle in, finger helps to push it up, and you have it there as a little bridge. You're going to swing your thread, underneath, making sure you get all of the strands. Then use your finger to push through, and there's your next cable chain. So again, needle pointing down, over, under, needle in, finger underneath your fabric to help push it back up and through. And then you're going to swing your length of thread underneath your needle, use your finger to push through, pull, and there's your next cable chain. I reckon we might get another one in there. We're getting quite close to the hoop. Just make sure that you can see that. So this is the last one. So again, I'm going to swing my length of thread. It's going to be a bit tricky because I'm touching the wood. Underneath, like that. Now don't be afraid to just let your hands rest because it's all held underneath there. If you need to just kind of talk yourself through the steps again. Push through, little pull, and there is that cable chain. I'm going to go through here so I finish on the little loop. There we go. Now what you could do if you had some beads is you could add a lovely purple bead to the inside of each of these, but you can see the difference in those chain stitches. So we have got chain, reverse chain, normal chain with a back stitch of twisted thread, then we have got reverse chain, and then we whipped it, didn't we, yesterday? So that was a nice one. So I am just going to show you again how I knot off at the back. I'll flip my hoop over. Now this can be a hard bit because some people struggle to get their knot right on top of where you want it to be on your work. So if you imagine you're going to do a knot in your thread, if you were to pull it now it would be stuck up here. So I'm going to put my needle through the hole, through the loop. I'm going to hold it where I want it to be, and then I'm just going to pull the length of thread, and that knot will always land where your needle is. I'll show you again. So imagine you're going to knot your piece of thread. If you pull it now it's going to land up your hoop, so instead you put your needle through, place your needle where you want your knot to land and just pull your thread, and it'll always follow it down and land right on top, just like that. Let me give it a little snip. There. Now I'm going to show you the last chain stitch in our rainbow, and we're going to do a double chain. So for this one, I'm going to use this gorgeous dark teal, and that one is, let me zoom back out a bit, that one is DMC 3847, and again, I'm going to use all 6 strands of thread. I'm going to pull myself a nice length. Again, I'm going to start here and then go back up and finish this, just so I've got a nice long run to show you. It's one of the shorter ones of all of these, so I want enough just to show you there. And this one's going to look quite thick when we do it. So first of all, as I did before, I just want to take out strands at a time just to get rid of all of those twists, and then I'm going to lay them all back together to ensure that I move any twists out of my work. And it just makes it so much easier to stitch with. So one at a time I'm pulling them out. It smooths out any kinks as we stitch. Okay, and then the boring bit is me lining them back up again. So has anybody tried the cable chain stitch before? Just send a little heart if you have. You don't have to talk. Sometimes it can be a bit daunting, can't it, talking on a live? Let's give those a little snip. And then we're going to thread. I like to thread by hiding my thread in between my fingers, popping my needle on top, and then slowly pushing down and opening my finger and thumb. Do you ever use thread conditioner like beeswax? I have done before when I do thread painting. So you can do. There is somebody, Michelle Staub, amazing embroidery artist. She used like a white conditioner, just like hair conditioner, I think she said it was. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. I've used beeswax. If you use one of the yellowy ones, over time I have heard that it can go a little yellowy. But I don't find with thread painting that I need to, especially if you're smoothing. But I do have very naturally oily hands, not oily fingers, so I don't know if that kind of works. A bit gross that really, isn't it? But yeah, I'll show you the ones actually. I'll dig one out and I'll show you the ones that I do when we come to do the hummingbird on here. Yeah, that's definitely not got the wax because you can feel it sometimes. Teresa has just said, I did a sampler from drop cloth samplers and learned so many chain stitches. Oh, amazing. Have you done this one before? The cable chain. I think it's so good to have just like different stitches, even though we won't always use them. And you might never use some of them again, but I think sometimes it's good to have a bit of a challenge. I do love a sampler. My next stitch along, the autumn one, is going to be a sampler. And I think with that one, I'm going to do a kit as well. And I've already got the idea in mind. Abigail has said, I've heard that it can discolour over time. Yeah, and I'd be devastated if, you know, I use beeswax on like a huge gorgeous piece, especially on white, and it discoloured over time. I will have to have a look at other options because there must be other options, and there are people that do sell thread conditioner too. So it'd be interesting to see really. Right, to start off this double chain, I am going to make a little anchor stitch here. Okay, and then I'm going to make, should I have done that a bit smaller? Yes, Natalie, you should. I'm going to come back out and rethread. Sorry, guys. I love drop cloth samplers. I love her too. Oh, I didn't realise that was a person. I thought that was the name, like the type of sampler. Oh, I'll have to have a look at them. Where are they based? Are they based in the UK? Or are they American? I'll have to have a look for those. I've literally never heard of drop cloth samplers. I can't even say it. Okay, so I'm going to do the first stitch, first chain in the row. Whoop. Like so. Okay, there's my first stitch. Now I'm going to come up here, not far away. She's in America and she's called Rebecca Rinquist. Oh, I'll have to have a look at her name. So is her actual account, her actual business name, Drop Cloth Samplers, or is it Rebecca? Thought it wasn't UK for my phone, but oh, I'll have to have a look. Give her a follow. So at this point, I'm going to do my next chain. I'm going to go back under here. This is just for the first one. I keep catching on the fabric. Okay. And down. Now, just as we went through both of those, this is what you're going to do as you continue on. You are going to start underneath stitches again, about the same distance. Yes, it is drop, I can't even say it, that's terrible. Drop cloth samplers. I'll have to have a look. So I'm not just going to go underneath here, I'm going to go underneath both stitches. Okay, just as both stitches went under here, I'm going to go underneath both of those chains there. This is called double or heavy chain stitch. And you'll see the difference this stitches up like, which is really chunky, very nice. Okay, so the next one again, come up not too far away, same depth again, and this time I'm going to go up under this one and this one, so it's where they join here, and weave underneath. And stitch down. It makes it quite chunky. Okay, I'm just going to turn to the light so you can see that a bit better. I've chosen quite a dark colour when the sun's going down here. So under here, this is the previous chain, this is the previous chain. So I'm going to go underneath the one before and pull. Do you remember doing this one, Teresa, on the drop cloth And again, I'm going to come up same distance again. So this one takes a little bit longer, but you do get a lovely heavy effect. You almost can't see the loops in the chain, but you get a really heavy textured finished piece. Almost looks like anybody who's had long hair, daughters or sons with long hair, when you've done a fish plait, in the hair. Here we go. So we can see the difference in that one. Really heavy. Equally, really nice. So again, leaving a little gap each time and weaving underneath. Not this first one here, because if we went underneath there, just weaving under one chain. We're going to go under the one before it. And the needle should just slide underneath. Teresa's done this one before. Can't wait to see what yours looks like on that gorgeous fabric, Teresa. And again. And I'll spend some time this weekend uploading all 3 of the videos from this week to YouTube. So if you like to follow on there, there'll be one after the other. And I'd like to put them in a playlist so it makes it easy to go back onto them. Because sometimes on my Instagram feed, I do like to post extra posts in between the stitch along videos, which doesn't knock you out of sync because you can still see them in order on the grid. But on YouTube, in a playlist, you can go straight to the stitch along playlist and play them as and when, and revisit them whenever you want to. Yes, Abigail has said, so it's under the previous 2 every time. Yes, under the previous 2. Let me see if I can zoom even closer. So there's the previous one, and you can feel the difference. It feels looser. And there's under the previous 2. It feels almost heavier to pull. But the overall look is, do you know what a fish plait is? When you basically do a plait with, you split the ponytail into 2 lots of hair, and you just take tiny bits from either side and just keep crissing over the middle. I think a heavy chain, double chain, looks like a fish plait. I think it's a gorgeous stitch. I've had one thread loose on both of those and I didn't realise. That's going to annoy me. So let's go underneath there. And down. So looking at these, and if you've tried them, yes, I love a fish, but oh, I do. I used to love it when my girls would let me do them in their hair. Might see if they might let me this weekend, actually. I fancy doing one of those. And the hair looks so almost like crimped, you know, when you took the hair out of them after. So out of all of the chain stitches, don't worry if you haven't tried them yet, which ones are you least looking forward to trying? Which ones are you most looking forward to trying? And if you have tried them, which ones have you preferred? Sometimes you prefer the overall look but don't actually like doing the stitch. But I think the one that kind of like looks most different, I quite like the cable chain for me. I just finished down to the edge of this one, and then what I'll do is I'll finish off here and here and finish off this green, the whipped one here, over the weekend so that we're ready for Monday. Has anyone got any nice plans for over the weekend? I am accompanying my daughter bowling tomorrow. My son's going to a fun fair. My other daughter will be at home with my husband. A bit of a food shop. Abigail has said, I love chain stitch and the cable chain. Looks great. Yeah, I love the cable chain. So cool, isn't it? Almost done with this one. Let's pull that out. There we go. Oh, so your boys are away at the air show again? Oh my gosh. It must be something you really enjoy. I do. I love things like that. I just don't hear about them now. I think with having older kids, you don't always hear about these lovely fun days out, do you? Although it's my birthday next week and my husband's booking the day off. The kids are off school and we're planning on going to the beach for the day. Fish and chips by the sea. Oh, I love being by water. And take the chihuahuas with us. Hi, Tori. Hey, hey, hey. You had a good day today? But you've had lots of lovely sunny weather, haven't you? We were having a chit chat before, weren't we? Until I had to go AWOL, picking up the kids and dropping them off and everything else in between. So we've finished the chains there. And we're just going to do, we have got the flowers here. And we've got woven roses. Some with 3s, some with 2s. I noticed when I transferred one of mine, I've missed off this little one here, so I'm going to draw it on. That's right close to the hoop, so I'm going to have to move that one in. Beach sounds amazing. Yeah, oh, I hope it's just nice weather. We usually have nice weather on my birthday. But yeah, I hope it's nice weather. Tori said, just got off the float boat and it's finally warm and sunny again. What's a float boat? Float boat. Sounds quite exciting, doesn't it? I might do all of my little flowers in pink. No, I won't do them all in pink. Okay, I'm going to pull some pink. I'm just going to show you the 3 and the small 5. I might even add a different type of flower in there. I was thinking about this before. Yeah, float boat. Is it like, Tori said, are you going anywhere for your birthday? Did I miss what you're doing? Yeah, so I think Daniel's booking the day off. The kids, it's kids' first day, the twins' first day of the summer holidays. So I think we're going to just jump in the car with the dogs, go to the beach, have a nice walk, hopefully get a takeaway or go out somewhere nice for dinner. But I just really want to be by the water. I find being by the water so calming. Like seeing Tori's holiday pictures, waking up on that lake, being there. I just find there's something that makes my brain silent around water. It just feels so calming. Do you guys find that as well? Tori said, a pontoon boat. I can't imagine what it looks like. I'm imagining, like, is it like a raft? Like so it's flat, so it's not actually like a boat, but like a raft. I'm imagining, you know, like Traitors, the TV show. And they had those little boats. No, they weren't. They were rowing boats, weren't they? Ignore me. So, for the woven rose, we're going to go here. Yes, I love the water. There is something, and it doesn't matter for me whether it's, I used to go on lovely walks when it was really hot in that heat wave earlier on this year by the canal. And on those walks, I could see fish in the water. There was a heron stalking the fish. There was a mother duckling with baby ducklings, geese, swans. There's just something that's so calming about being by the water. But by like a fresh lake or by the sea, there's just something that's really regulating. Like being by the water, isn't there? Tori's put a laughing emoji and said, I'll send you a photo of the float boat. I need a picture. Because right now my mind's going to like Yogi Bear. And I don't even think Yogi Bear was ever on a float boat, but imagine Yogi Bear on like a piece of wood with stood up on it, but with like an oar. So yeah, maybe I'm thinking the wrong thing. So you're going to come up. Welcome to my mind. This is the type of thing that I think about. So you're going to come up between any of the spokes and you're going to start weaving over, under, around them all. Now I know this is something. Mermaid in a previous life, I think I absolutely was. Complete with one of the shell bras and perfect singing voice as well. Bit like Ariel, but not, because I look nothing like Ariel. But yeah, maybe I was a mermaid in a previous life. There we go. So we're going to weave over, under, until all of our spokes are covered. But then again, not just water, I find just being out in nature really calming. Like a really nice walk in the woods, under the trees, in all seasons as well. It's gorgeous. I like stitching outdoors as well. We've got a lovely RHS near where we live. And taking my stitching and just sitting. They've got like little water features, or just sitting in the gardens is really nice. And I think at one point I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to do that, but at university, when I was doing my textiles degree, we used to have to take our artwork with our easels and paints, water pots and everything, just sit and paint and draw. And you kind of realise people they pop over, don't they? You know, you sat on a little camping chair, having a brew from your flask, and people pop over and they have a bit of a chat with you, ask you what you're doing, ask you what you're painting or drawing. And it's really nice. So if anybody sees me out there in the wild sewing, pop over and say hi. And I always have to take some on holiday as well. So whether we're camping or staying in a lodge, I love to just be able to sew when we're outside. Hence why I lost my needle that time. Does anybody remember the lost needle? If not, it's tagged on my Instagram stories. I think Abigail remembers that one. There we go. I've got one strand that's poking through there. Let's make sure these are nice and straight. Okay, so I've nearly finished this. So as you can see, I've kept weaving around and around and around until all of those spokes are covered. I don't see these spokes hanging out. And as I get towards the end, I'm using my finger underneath to just push the flower up so that I can get underneath. Abigail said, I'll never forget the lost needle. I mean, that was a saga, wasn't it? I think we could have done like a BBC EastEnders episode on the lost needle. And honestly, Abigail, my son has still got that lost needle in the frame in his bedroom on his shelf. It was so funny. So funny. Do you remember Squirrel Gate as well, Abigail? Oh dear, thank God that's never happened since. There we go. Teresa said, oh, don't talk about lost needles with Tori. Tori, what's this? I don't know about the lost needle with Tori. So I've left a little dot here in the middle. And in here is where we're going to add the metallic thread in the centre, of our roses. Because it's a nice way to add a little bit of sparkle where we don't have to play around with the metallic thread too much. Depending on what metallic thread you've got, you have DMC Diamante, which is a lovely, easy one to use, or you have the ones that come on the skein like this, which people call devil's pubes. I don't know whether anyone's ever heard that before, because it's such a nightmare to stitch with. Yes, Abigail remembers Squirrel Gate. I think it was you, wasn't it, that messaged me and said that your whole family was hooked on what was going to happen. Oh God, honestly, it was traumatising. I don't feel like I'm ever been over it. I don't look at my chihuahuas and ever think about anything other than the fact that they killed a squirrel in my home. And the squirrel was almost the same size as the one that killed it. And I know it was her because she's hardly got any teeth and it was just like gummed to death. Yeah, it was terrible. Really bad. It was like one of the worst days of my life, guys. It was awful. We still talk about it. Oh my God. I might have to resurrect it and put it back in my stories. Oh my God. It was just like the most chaotic scene. So basically, I'll tell you the story dead quickly. So basically, my husband had been doing something outside for the weekend. So it must be something like with the shed or emptying the shed. And the back door had been open for quite a while. Anyway, one of the dogs kept going underneath the kitchen cabinets. And I was like, what is that? And I thought I could hear scratching. So I was like, oh my God, there must be a mouse. So we've got a little dog cam. So I set it up overnight, pointing into the kitchen. And I said to my husband, I said, look, we'll find it. Dreading it, but we'll find it. It'll be there when we look out. So in the morning, the camera only goes off if there's movement. So in the morning, we've checked. And I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous. Did not want to see a massive rat or a mouse in the kitchen. But there was no movement on the camera. So I was like, oh, must have imagined it. There must be a biscuit or something under there and the dog's after it. Anyway, the camera is usually on the front of the television pointing into the living room. So it would have seen the scene of the crime had we left the camera there. But instead, I've just left the camera pointing in the kitchen. We went out for the day, came back, and as we came with the kids, my son said to me, why have you left that there? And I went, left what? Where? Bearing in mind, I'm stomping around the living room and could have stood on it. Oh my God. So I said, left what? Where? And he was like, that there. So as I'm stood right near this major, poor dead squirrel, I was like, oh my God. I was like, who's put that there? And they were like, it wasn't me. I was like, oh my God, the dogs have killed it. So then I had to go and get a bin bag and try and pick it up. But obviously by then it got rigor mortis. It was like licked all around the middle and just kind of lay there, the poor thing. The dogs looked like, oh my God, what have we done? And we couldn't work out who it was. But then my son, oh my God, one of my daughters, bless her, vegetarian, she was in the car. Do not let her in. She'll literally have a panic. Don't let her see it. So one daughter's going mad, trying to protect the other daughter. My son's literally gone into hyper mode, videoing the whole thing. Teresa, it was a mess. I'm going to have to find the stories in the archive. It was just awful. So I said to my son afterwards, I've told people on Instagram, did you record it? And he said, yes. So I said, oh, let's have a look. And then he went, no, I don't think I did actually. I was like, oh no. So I let everybody know, I'm really sorry it wasn't recorded. And he went, oh, actually, no, I did. And the video back is just chaos. It was just the best. But I couldn't pick up this poor... Abigail said, I'm crying again. Oh, I couldn't pick up this poor rigor mortis squirrel off my living room floor. So I had to go and knock on and ask my retired neighbour, Edith, bless her, to come round and pick up this squirrel. I mean, God, she's already rescued me from when my son dug a hole in the garden and 2 hedgehogs fell into it and I couldn't pick them up. So I'm like, every time I picked up this hedgehog, it was like flying in the air and I'm going, oh, I can't do it. I had to go and get Edith then as well. She came out with rubbing gloves on, picked up this hedgehog, but she came round and picked up this squirrel. And then my youngest daughter found out this squirrel had died and she wouldn't speak to the chihuahuas. It was just... it was horrific. I was literally scarred for life. No one sits on that spot on the carpet because it's just like where the squirrel passed away. And I did have somebody message me actually who said it was really unfair of me to share it because it was a living being, and then I felt really bad. But Abigail was highly entertained. She was like, oh my God, please save it on your highlights. I'm going to have to save it. I'm going to have to resurrect it. So let me see if I can find it tonight. I'll tag you at Abigail. It can be some Saturday night viewing. But honestly, that and the Lost Needle are the things that have gotten the most views on my Instagram. Forget my stitching. Forget the fact I've been doing this for years. It's a dead squirrel and the lost bloody needle in the grass in the back garden. So you can see here on the 3, I'm weaving over under again. Looks a little bit messy as we get going, but I've gone with 3 because it's so tiny. And these are going to weave on. Hi, Brandy. Oh my gosh, Teresa's just said, well, it wasn't living anymore. It bloody wasn't. And the worst part was, if the camera had been there, we would have found out which dog had done it. But I'm pretty sure it was Hazel, to be fair. Because Olive's never done anything like that. She'll chase a bird, but I think that she would have chased the squirrel and then panicked, whereas Hazel just, oh my God. But the poor thing, I think it died of shock, to be honest, because it didn't have any puncture wounds. I think they were just playing with it, oh my God. But yeah, thank God the camera had moved because we didn't get to see the actual event. Well said, Teresa. Oh, bless thee. I know, it's not like I did it on purpose, but yeah, somebody that did message me was a bit cross with me for sharing this poor squirrel because it was a living being, and I did feel really bad. I thought, God, I'm going to get people unfollowing me here. Hi, Brandy. So Brandy said, hi, a quick late pop in. What I've done for... Oh, no, you had a bit of a day. You're working, aren't you now? So... Or on your lunch break, I should say. I've just been filling them in, Brandy, on the story of when my dogs killed a squirrel in my house when we were out. and the absolute chaos that ensued, that Abigail was living for days. Honestly, I genuinely do wonder whether people follow me for hand embroidery or not, or for these like bloody tragic events that happen in my family, honestly. Although the squirrel wasn't a relative, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean. So, again, I'm going to knot off the back. So I'm going to create a little knot, pull my thread through, put my needle where I want the knot to go, and pull. I hope your Friday gets better though, Brandy. And it's the weekend as well. So hopefully you finish work soon. You can have a lovely rest. I was saying as well, Brandy, that I'm going to be saving this one. This will be on Instagram straight away. And over the weekend, I'm going to put all 3 onto YouTube. So they are ready for you all in a separate playlist. There we go. So, give that little fluff up. I don't think we'll get a little gold bit in the middle of there. Or I might use silver on this one. I used gold on here. But I might use silver on this one. I think the colours might suit it a bit more. But metallic is at the end, so there we go. So we've done Lord, I've forgotten it now. We've done a chain stitch here, haven't we? Just in case. Just here in case Hazel strikes again. She could do, honestly, they still chase them. They kind of hop along the fence at the back. It's my worst, honestly, it's my absolute worst nightmare. And this is a heavy chain, or a double chain, I like to call it, double chain. And then we've done 2 woven wheels there. But yeah, I will absolutely let you know. I mean, Chihuahuas are known for being ratting dogs. And she literally fits it to a T. Olive's a bit like a Labrador, but she chases the ball. She does fetch, she does sit. Hazel just looks for mice and, yeah, squirrels. So there we have it. Abigail, I'm going to try and find the videos and put them back on Instagram stories for you so you can catch up. Hopefully I won't get anybody unfollowing because it's unfair on the squirrel, which, to be fair, it did die about 4 years ago, would you say? I'm not sure. But yes, I hope those stitches are something you fancy trying. If not, try them anyway. And yeah, enjoy catching up over the weekend, or catching up all together at the end. But thank you again for joining me. It's been a quiet Friday, but I had a good chat there. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Bye.